instance.
where do you draw the line at Kanye and Andrew Tate? Because
Entertainment.
what Kanye's saying is way more extreme and way more dangerous than what Tate was saying.
No, and again,
And
I
they gotta
think
take the on that one.
I'm happy to use that analogy because I think that's important too. There's a line in which if you're a stable minded person, we tend to look at certain things as purely entertainment because we're stable minded. We don't really think about the ramifications. You know what I'm saying? And again, that goes back to my whole point of pointing out that Kanye West is mentally ill. So like we sometimes negate that, throw that to the side because it's entertainment. We're like, oh, all this entertainment, it got to be for some type of monetary gain. You see what I'm saying? I don't think we gotta pay attention to anything that's not purely music from him. Like I don't pay attention to nothing he does that's not purely music.
But the nature of people having a platform you're going to, like the dude is literally, he's doing these interviews that's generating millions of views.
And
You
I,
can't.
I think we got to be smarter than that. For instance, him going up on CNN and all that other stuff is like, who are they really hyping up for real? You know what I'm saying?
Hold on. You know the crazy. You're saying we gotta be smarter than that, but the majority of people are dumb as shit. This is why Andrew Tate got
No, it's
banned.
crazy.
You know
It's
why?
crazy.
Because number one, you're influencing kids, and then other people who just who are just impressionable minds, like they're gonna believe you. So again, I get what you're saying. To anybody with like Kanye's rhetoric, don't affect me the same way it would affect other people. But I could imagine if Kanye's preaching some shit that like I say you lost. I don't even want to speak anything to existence, but let's say you lost someone you knew, and Kanye came out and be like, "Yo," and so you lost him to cancer, and Kanye came out and be like, "Nah, yo, it's so and so who killed him." Blah blah blah. You get what I mean? Like, granted, you might be smarter to know that Kanye is just saying a bunch of nonsense, but bro, like, it's also perpetuating the hurt that you're feeling, especially you're mourning over some shit. I guess that's where like some of the Jewish stuff kind of like goes off the rails because the more he talks about their history, I just don't even have conversation about it because I don't even know it like that. You get what I mean? It's clear that they're very sensitive towards it, and it's clear that they don't want their history to be belittled, rewritten, or to be lumped up with, in reality, Kanye beefing with really, it's a handful of dudes. Some happen to be Jewish, and Kanye then start talking about the entire Jewish people. Like, that's dangerous, my nigga. Like, again, you can say, oh, we got to be smarter, but to a group of people who still, at least in how they process everything, their history plays a huge part into how they're being treated now. They're not going to just be like, oh, we're smart to know that Kanye really means no harm.
Now, I hear what you're saying, right? And the hard part about that is me being black. It's like that's just a very deep conversation. You know what I'm saying?
Okay, what would Dr. Umar Johnson say?
I don't
That's
think
the
he
real
would.
question.
I don't think that's the
What,
same
what
shit.
Dr. Umar Johnson saying about this whole situation? That's what I want to know.
Umar disowning Kanye. We all know that.
But again, I think it's just important that we remember that he's mentally ill and to try to. I think like what happened to
like
the
this.
whole
The mentally ill.
mental illness thing.
But when you acknowledge that people are mentally ill, you don't just allow them to just do whatever they want. You know what I mean? To a certain
No,
point.
and I agree, and that's
to
why
a certain point.
I don't think Nori should have posted that video at all.
So to a certain point, people then have to enact certain stipulations on you to make sure you don't hurt yourself or hurt others, which also might be institutionalizing you. So like, I feel like when we use this mentally ill shit, like it's a slippery slope between us saying, now do you think that nigga should just put this thing in a straitjacket and lock him in a room for like a good 6 months? Again, I think he uses the money, the fact that he has so many resources to be like, yo, I could do whatever I want, right? But if he's just mentally ill, we've seen in other situations when Britney Spears was losing it, the judge came in and put in place a conservatorship, which means
y'all can't stop a nigga from talking though, man. They said Dave Chappelle was crazy, bro.
And that's another thing. It's
Dave was never talking like this, man. Kanye's tweaking. Kanye's on some other shit. Like, yo, Kanye will say some shit about a whole group of people and then lump it in with, yo, my baby mama trying to get my daughter to do Playboy. Like, what the that got to do with what the then he'll say some crazy. The nigga said some crazy shit about Jewish people and then said, yo, And I don't want nobody to get. And I don't give a fuck what none of y'all say because only Travis Scott gave me the address to my daughter's party. Nigga, what the fuck is you talking about right now?
Yeah,
Like,
that's what
nigga,
I'm saying. Like,
the
But then
niggas not being
sometimes
too coherent.
it be some shit to come out like years later. You be like, that nigga was kind of right there though. Like he kind of
Man,
told the truth right there.
yo, hold
So
on,
it's
hold on.
like it's kind of weird.
I've always defended Ye and said Ye is he's kind of he's always like teetered that line of telling the truth and exposing what usually Hollywood and I won't say secret society, but just say Hollywood and the industry don't want you to know. But also he's a little bit delusional and he's cynical. Like he's paranoid. You get what I mean?
yeah,
Like
he's a
it's
paranoid, manic
like
person.
the best example of that was when he went on that rant when he remember he had to get off tour. He got up on stage and said, "Yo, Beyonce said she would only go to the awards show if she was winning the awards." I wholeheartedly believe that. These are industry secrets that people know who's gonna win. You know when if Nicki's showing up, she's going to collect a bunch of awards. If someone's that's just how it goes. Okay, it's like under the table dealings that happens. But you know what Kanye West also said? He says Jay-Z got a bunch of ninjas who might try to kill me. And if you believe that, and if he believed that, he would not be saying he want Jay-Z to support him for president. Like, you get what I mean? So it's like some shit, like you believe because you're like, damn, he's keeping it realer than the fake niggas in the industry. But then he says certain shit, you're like, wait, what? Niggas got ninjas trying to kill you.
The nigga did say I can get you touch hands free though. On that, the nigga did say that,
You
bro.
gotta chill.
He said that. I can get you. He said it, bro. Jay Z do got hitters. You think that nigga ain't got man?
Also, Jay Z was talking about that Jewish stuff on 444, and it went
Oh
over people's
God.
heads.
Again, I just think if the industry and like society is so big on mental illness, it's so hypocritical to see news corporations do interview with just because he's rich and they're only doing it for their gain as well. Like, don't get it fucked up and think that they're doing that shit to really get an opinion. They're trying to get a moment like everybody else. I just think it's crazy to me when it's like he's clearly mentally ill. You're clearly only making it worse. The
Okay,
best
all
thing
right,
you
hold on,
do
hold on.
is ignore him.
So what's you gotta give the remedy because people are offended.
I think
So
the
what's
best
the
thing we
remedy?
can do, especially on our end as the black culture and on a common front with it. Like I can't speak for what CNN and them going to do, but I think we got to stop like acquiescing because we all seeking the moment. Like we're all trying to use this man. You know what I'm saying? Every time you talk about them, you're just using them. Like it's you
Wait,
clearly
hold
there's
on.
no.
You're not clear. So give us the remedy. Are you trying to say we should ignore him?
We should ignore him.
Okay, so you do know when it comes. Okay, so say we as a culture ignore him. What that's gonna end up, being a domino effect of, is him being deplatformed. You do notice, like again,
Yeah, I don't
it's
think we should.
we could
I
ignore him
don't
as a
think.
culture, but what Twitter is gonna do when he's posting text messages and addresses and yo, this mother he killed so and so and whatever. You know these platforms are gonna say we just can't ignore it. We just gotta take him off. So you're saying he should be taken off.
I'm not saying he should be taken off. No.
But if you
Yeah,
can't, but if he's
Nah, hell
wilding
no.
that
You can't
much,
take them off.
yeah,
Again, that's not my thing. Is you can't really say that that's as a rebuttal to what I'm saying because that's impossible. We're not talking
all right,
about
all right,
boxing.
hold on. You're saying we. You're saying we as a culture. But what about everybody else? His words
And
ain't
again,
only
like I
affecting
said,
the
I
culture.
can't speak for them. But again, I think the problem is he does when somebody's bipolar and they're dealing with mental illness, they tend to make layered excuses and they layer things in a way that you kind of keep falling back into the same conversation, but it really just stops at ignoring him. Like us even having this
but
conversation is an example of us doing what we shouldn't be doing is just talking about him, giving that credence because we know what we're here for is the music.
Yo, Kyrie, you skipping all around it, man. Listen,
yeah,
okay, maybe
Kyrie, you
not take him off
dancing.
of the shit, but do you agree with this? Because they haven't deleted his account. Like Trump, they deleted. He's permanently suspended, right? Or I don't know if they deleted, but they took him off of it. It's made it clear he's banned. He's suspended. He's probably gonna get back on, and I believe they're doing that because they know he's going through an episode, and whenever he gets back a little bit stable, they'll let him back on. So you agree with that then?
I agree that if you do something that you can get kicked off of Instagram or Twitter for, you should get kicked off of Instagram and Twitter for.
Do you think Kanye did something that he should have got at least suspended for a little while?
Yeah,
No,
I guess
I
you could
don't.
say so. Like I don't know if
I don't think so. Hell
You,
no.
It
I
depends
don't
on
agree.
how they looking at. Because that's the thing. They could always blur the line and say you doing that is a form of harassment and doxing. You know what I'm saying? Especially when you're of that magnitude. You know what I'm saying? But
But if he was to do that shit to a black person, then it wouldn't be that big of a deal.